Whenever you fall into a position where you feel hardship of this worldly, meaningful dunya, and you feel abandoned, you feel deprived from many ni'mah, many graces of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you feel that you have no one to support you, you have no one to help you, do what Ibrahim alayhi salam did. When his people stripped him and put him in a catapult and thrown him into a fire, what he did? His father was there, his people were there, and nobody could dare to help him. But he only trusted Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He returned to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with this particular dua, with this powerful dua. Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakil. Whenever he said this dua, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered the fire to be peaceful and to be cold to save Ibrahim alayhi salam. Ibrahim alayhi salam came out of that fire with no harm, that people kindled it for a long time. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saved Ibrahim alayhi salam with that particular dua. That's the dua when people came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and threatened him that non-believers, they have gathered big army and they will destroy you. Many of his followers, his companions, were afraid, were frightened, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam suggested them to stick with this dua, Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakil. When they repeatedly said this dua, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala responded. In Quran Kareem, whenever you read that verse where that dua is, in the verse after that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala responded, فَانْقَلَبُوا بِنِعْمَةٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ وَفَضْلٍ لَمْ يَمْسَسْهُمْ سُوءٌ وَاتَّبَعُوا رِضْوَانَ اللَّهِ وَاللَّهُ ذُو فَضْلٍ عَظِيمٍ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, they return back with the grace and favor of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with no harm, and they attended the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the owner of plenty of favors. Whenever you face any difficulty, any hardship in life, stick to this dua and repeatedly say Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakil. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will save you the same He saved Ibrahim alayhi salam from the fire, and the same He saved Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam along with his followers in the battle. It's easy for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to save you whenever you face difficulty and you return right back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with this particular dua. Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakil. Assalamu alaikum.